Alright guys, this here is my stack of unfinished books. This may not be all of them. I don't know. This is just the ones that we have unpacked and or found in boxes. So I'm going to go through them and we're going to talk about them. So, starting with The Way of Shadows. I found this at a vintage stock, I think. And it is the first book in the, what's it called? The Night Angel trilogy by Brent Weeks. And I bought it and I was like, oh, I'm going to read this. I've wanted to read it. Like the library didn't have it and it was on hold and stuff. So I'm just going to buy it and I'm going to read it. And I've read this much. So I have a serious problem, guys, like clearly. 1984 by George Orwell. I don't have a bookmark in this one. I don't think this is the copy that I was reading. But yeah, I haven't read all of it. I've read some of it and or most of it, but not all of it because I can't finish books. Here we have Neuromancer by William Gibson. This is probably the one that I've made, one of the ones that I've made the most progress with. I was almost done with it. I was on chapter 17 and I started this one, very many years ago. I got it from my husband, who was then my boyfriend, and he was like, here, read this book. I'm like, okay. So yeah, that didn't happen either. Didn't even finish it. This one here, this is called Enchantment by Orson Scott Card. It is a fairy tale. It's about a time traveling like athlete, and he goes back in time and has to rescue the princess, and Baba Yaga is there, and there's a bear, and time travel shenanigans. I bought the book while I was in college. I read about half of it. Last year? Last year I got the audiobook from the library and I listened to almost all of it. Almost. I don't even remember. Oh, there it is. I've read this much, so I'm almost done with it. Haven't finished it. Here we have Allegiant by Veronica Roth. This is the third book of the Divergent series, which I thought was really good. And I watched the first movie, but the books are always better, guys. Unless it's Dracula or Frankenstein. But anyway, I didn't read very much of this at all, and then I just lost interest and was like, meh, whatever. Never finished it. This is gonna fall. Douglas Adams, The Ultimate Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I read The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy that is in this big anthology. And then I was on The Restaurant at the End of the Universe. And I've read this much. Not very much of that one. And then these are the three that I had talked about in my video the other day. I was really scrambling to make a video and I was like, oh, let's just talk about these. So Dune, my husband wants me to read Dune because the movie or the TV show or some kind of media is coming out about this soon-ishly. And he wants me to read it. So I was like, okay, cool. And I read like the introductory chapter. And this is a chonker, guys. He's a biggin. But I might actually finish this one. Oh, my phone's going off. It's over there. Oops. And then Babylon's Ashes, book number 6 in the Expanse series, James S.A. Corey. The Expanse is really, really good. We're doing a rewatch of the show right now because the 4th season, I think, is coming out on Amazon later. And so this is book 6 of however many that are out. I think there are 7 out, and they are planning 9 books. So yeah, so there's that. I did finish all of A Song of Ice and Fire. It took me years. I had them all, and then my friends borrowed them and they read them all the way through, and then my husband read them all the way through, and I was like, oh, I guess I should read those. I think I was on A Storm of Swords for like 3 years. But anyway, so there's that. And then this one is the Queens of Innisleer. I bought this at Comic-Con this year. It is signed by the author Tessa Gratton. I saw it at Barnes & Noble, was it last year, I think, or the year before? I don't remember, but I thought it looked really, really interesting, but it came down to buying this book or the gray minimalist cover copy of the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and can't pass that up. I mean, come on. Which I did read all of. I finally read those all the way through, because I hadn't read them all the way through ever. I think when the first movie came out, The Lord of the Rings, my dad said, oh, you're not allowed to watch this until you read the book. And I'm like, okay, fine, because I was like 11. And so I read it, and then I was allowed to watch the movies, and then when the rest of the movies came out, I sort of skimmed to my favorite parts of the movies in the books, and I read those, but I never actually read the whole series all the way through, so I just did that this past year, and I'm so glad that I actually finished that. But yeah, this one is actually first on my to finish list. So yeah, that is my unfinished books list. That, like I said, there are probably more, and I just don't know about them, or I haven't found them yet or something. If I do find more, I'll probably do another video like this. But I know someone was saying, oh, you should do a book tag, and I was like, okay. So I have all of these unfinished books, so this is probably going to be my reading goal for the next year, for the new year, because we're coming up on the end of a new year, or the beginning of a new year, the end of an old year. And so this will probably be my project, my reading project, in addition to, quilting and sewing cosplays and getting a PhD. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. I have a problem. If anybody has any tips and tricks on how to actually finish a book, please let me know, because I'm in the market for tips and tricks on how to finish a book. So I will see you tomorrow with a new video. Bye.